I think Harry Maguire has to have some decency and some respect that this club has employed him for that long. They have given him a huge contract. He's not performed. He's simply not delivered on that contract. He's not been good enough to get paid that much, but rather than accepting that he has had a good time and he's been overpaid for his services at Manchester United, Harry Maguire feels that he needs to get more money before he leaves. It's ridiculous. If you went out there in the real world and worked for a living and you did half a job of what you actually said you were going to do, why would you expect to be paid your full salary? Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're all doing well out there. There's lots to talk about today, and we are talking about the game last night and the fallout from that. It was a poor game last night, a poor opening game for Manchester United, but what are the positives that we can take out from that game? We'll also be looking at how desperately Manchester United need to bring in new players, but let's kick off today's show with breaking news that literally has just come off the press from Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian, a very, very respected journalist who works for The Guardian newspaper, and he has broken the news that the Harry Maguire deal has collapsed because West Ham grew tired of waiting for Harry Maguire to confirm his move. So the breaking news is that Harry Maguire deal has collapsed because West Ham grew tired of Harry Maguire waiting around for his answer whether he's going to join them or not. But Harry Maguire has been busy. Yes, Harry Maguire wants Manchester United to pay in the region of £7 to £15 million for him to leave Manchester United and join West Ham. This is breaking news. There's not much information on this, but if this is the case, this is really, really bad for Manchester United, who thought that they had Harry Maguire sold and that they were going to make some kind of profit on him and they would be allowed to then go out and buy a new centre-back. If this is the case, we are looking at terrible news for Manchester United. Harry Maguire, we saw last night walk onto the pitch as a sub for Manchester United. That did confuse a lot of people and a lot of fans who thought Harry Maguire was on his way to West Ham, but he was seen sitting there at Old Trafford yesterday. It was confusing for everybody, but now we understand why. Harry Maguire does not want to leave Manchester United and is not willing to leave unless Manchester United pay him off. Now, Harry Maguire got a huge salary increase last year when Manchester United qualified for the Champions League. And it always comes down to money. Yes, Harry Maguire doesn't really care about Manchester United. He doesn't care about where they're going, and he doesn't care about playing for Manchester United. It was always about his salary. We touched on this very early on in this transfer saga, that Harry Maguire is worried about his salary and whether any other club will be able to afford him on the salary that he's on. But now it's clear that Harry Maguire doesn't want to leave Manchester United before collecting his final payday, and he wants Manchester United to pay him out for the rest of his contract or the salary that he feels that he's owed by Manchester United by leaving and joining West Ham. West Ham clearly are not going to have him on the same salary that he's on here, and so therefore he's probably asking for the difference. Now, if this was me, I would simply pay off what he's asking for and get him out of the club. It's toxic. It's toxic having these kind of players sat there in the dressing room just milking it, just staying there for the money. I do not like this kind of behaviour. I think Harry Maguire has to have some decency and some respect that this club has employed him for that long. They have given him a huge contract. He's not performed. He's simply not delivered on that contract. He's not been good enough to get paid that much, but rather than accepting that he has had a good time and he's been overpaid for his services at Manchester United, Harry Maguire feels that he needs to get more money before he leaves. It's ridiculous. If you went out there in the real world and worked for a living and you did half a job of what you actually said you were going to do, why would you expect to be paid your full salary? You would not expect to get paid the full amount by doing half the job, and that is what Harry Maguire's been doing. He's done half a job, but he wants to get paid his full salary. But he always cared about Harry Maguire and only Harry Maguire. We knew this. Now we're hearing that only Joel Glazer is the person who can sign off this payout to Harry Maguire, and he's not prepared to do that. Joel Glazer does not want to pay out Harry Maguire and simply wants him to stay at the club, and that is not good for Ten Hag and the team to have someone like that. We started hearing last week around Thursday and Friday that Harry Maguire might not be moving and might have been having second thoughts, and I've been saying this for weeks, that look, Harry Maguire is going to be reluctant to leave Manchester United for whatever reason he has in his head. He feels that he belongs belongs at Manchester United and nowhere else, and he's not going to get up and leave. And part of that is to do with the salary that he's on and what he's getting paid. He knows that he's not going to get that anywhere else. Harry Maguire knows deep down that he's not going to get paid this kind of salary anywhere else ever again. So that's why he's taking his final payday, wants Manchester United to pay him out and keep on getting paid that salary for doing absolutely nothing. What are your thoughts on all of this? Leave your comments below. Also, I want to say a huge thank you to all the new subscribers to the channel. Really appreciate everyone's support in this channel, and I want to say a huge welcome to all of you to our United family. I'll bring you more details on the Harry Maguire news. It's breaking news. It's just come out, and we have just got the bare basics right now that he is refusing to leave and the deal has collapsed, but we'll bring you more details as we get them. Moving on to last night's game where Manchester United kicked off their season against Wolves. Pre-game, we were all looking at this game as an easy opener at home where United last season were indestructible. So I had it down as an easy win, at least 2-3-0 for Manchester United. Wolves had a new manager in Gary O'Neill, and there was a little fear of the unknown there. Could he set up the team in a whole new way and improve Wolves by 200%? Well, I'm not sure if Wolves improved or Man United were still stuck on pre-season holiday mode, but Wolves looked their better team throughout the whole game. Now, those of you that know me well know that I am Mr. Positive and I dislike looking at the negatives of a game and a player, but there are times where you just have to say as it is. And well, United were lucky to get away with a win last night. I'm sure for those of you that watched the game last night would agree with me that United were very, very lucky to walk away with a win in that game. They would have been lucky to walk away with a draw, in fact. Wolves looked more hungry, more energetic, and won almost every duel on the pitch. I just kept seeing Man United players losing the ball time and time again, and it was not an easy watch. And the problem was that most of the Man United players looked like they weren't sure what their jobs were, starting with the captain Bruno. For me, he had one of the poorest games for United since joining the club. I would love to see his pass completion stats. I cannot remember him making a single pass completion apart from the goal, where he lobbed it over the defence to Wan-Bissaka. Rashford, he just looked lost. I think he hates playing down the middle and he just kept moving on to the left. Rashford just did not know what he was doing. He just looked uncomfortable throughout the game. And Mason Mount making his debut. Mason Mount was non-existent in the game. He had no influence over the game, and you'd argue that he's playing one of the key roles in the team. He's right there in the middle of the park and he has to have some presence in the game, but you forget he's even playing in the game. And the defence generally, as the two centre-backs, I think both of them played really well. Martinez, Varane, Lindelof, there's no complaints. And then Onana had a good game and made some very important saves. The foul at the end was very risky and could have been a penalty quite easy, but I think the Wolves defender Dawson had lost the ball before Onana came in and collided into him. But again, this was very lucky. I mean, at that moment in time, I thought it was a penalty and I thought it would be given. It wasn't given, thank God, and Manchester United walked away with 3 points at the end of the game. And that was shocking. Shocking that we got the 3 points. But let's be honest. But the positives are no one's going to be looking at this game at the end of the season. We got the 3 points. We got the win. Somehow we got it. It was a messy game. But we did what we had to do. Sometimes you've got to accept that Manchester United aren't going to blow away teams. And we just need to get the win somehow. What that game last night highlights is that Manchester United are still in need of new players and new reinforcements. We need options in the middle of the park. We cannot rely on Bruno and Casemiro every game. It's not going to be easy for them to play every game, and we need reinforcements, and that is where Amrabat comes in. Now, we keep mentioning Amrabat. We keep saying we need him in, we need him in, but Manchester United are playing a very, very dangerous game in my opinion. They're doing what Liverpool did with Lavea. They are just holding off and holding off. And this could cost them dearly if someone else comes in and offers Amrabat something that he can't refuse. I reported this week that there are other clubs that are actually circling around Amrabat and want him. They've offered him, they've approached him, they're trying to poach him, and it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time where one of these clubs makes an offer to him that is so good that he will have to take it. And this is why Manchester United need to act fast. We need to get in there, secure it. And it's shocking. It's shocking that Manchester United cannot go out there and pay out that 30 million and buy this player. And this is the state of the club right now. We are crying over 30 million. We're waiting for other players to sell and get that money in before we go out and buy Amrabat. Why is that the case? Why can Manchester United not go out there and buy him right now, not depending on who's going out and who's coming in? We should be buying Amrabat full stop. We shouldn't be worried about who's going and who's coming. We shouldn't care about whether McTominay is going to get sold, whether Fred's getting sold or what, and what funds are coming in. We need to go out there and buy Amrabat now, and that's what I keep saying. And if we can't afford to go and buy Amrabat for 30 million, how are we going to afford Pavard for 50? And this whole fiasco with Harry Maguire not leaving, I think puts this whole Pavard deal completely down the dumps. I think someone at United needs to sit down with the Glazers and tell them that we need more money and we need it quick. We need that money to go out there and get Amrabat, and we need that money to go out there and get Pavard. It's a shame that Rasmus Højlund is injured, because we are missing a key figurehead up forward in strike, because Rashford really does not look like he's comfortable playing that role, and he just struggles playing in that position. Finally, what did you think about the game last night? What were your opinions? Did you see any positives in the game? Did you think anyone played well? And which player for you needs to be replaced? Who did not play well enough? Please drop your comments below. You were watching the Man United stream, a channel by the fans for the fans.